let's look at some of the things that, before we get into what's coming up for you this year, let's look at your soul. Let's do a little psychic work, okay? And what I mean by psychic work is it has nothing to do with any divination system that I've given you, all the stuff that I'm giving you from the system of divination that cues us into what the themes of this incarnation is. But what we're looking for now is not of this ilk. What I'm talking about is what your spirit guides are wanting to communicate to you. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, do that kind of psychic work. So I'm going to turn this light off. Close this curtain. I'm going to go into a white trance, and I may or may not close my eyes. Doesn't matter. I just start talking. That's my mind. I do see a spirit guide. I get more than one right now, and that's because I'm Native American. I always tend to draw the Native American spirit guides. You've had a past life as a Native American, no doubt about that. In this area, you are male. You've also had a female life as a Native American, but the male one is coming very prominent right now. You are a shaman. You had a near-death experience in this life that made you very psychic. You still have that psychic ability now. Although in this life you've toned it down only because you needed to stay grounded, because you were extraordinarily psychic in this life, and you still have those abilities now. But I saw it in your chart. You definitely come to the ground, so that's good. I'm glad you've done that because you needed to find balance with all this wild psychic stuff that you used to do. Having involved with spirits, different dimensions, extraterrestrials. I get that you've had a number of contacts with extraterrestrial star people. You have a very strong connection in that way. So we got to get you. We're going to find out what that's about for you, because you really are not from here. You're not from this planet. You have the best we can describe you is you have a semblance of a human soul, but it really isn't human. It's otherworldly. It's an otherworldly soul. I recognize that about you immediately. Now that before you came in, I always spent a moment to tap into you psychically, and we got to get you acclimated to the star people, because you're very connected with them. You've had past lives, especially as this Native American, where you see the ships land and you'd interact with them on the tribe. It was nothing for you. I get that you're from the Pleiades. I'm picking up Pleiades. You're from a planet in the star system in the constellation of Pleiades. A lot of Indian tribes come from Pleiades, so it makes sense that you be Pleiadian. You were married, you lost a child. What's your feeling about children now?
I've always wanted them.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, and you have a longing because of this loss that you had in this past life of a child that you loved and lost, and that still is in your soul. You have a tremendous desire to embrace that mothering. Oh yes, that's a big lesson for you, and I think that you shut down in a past life. I'm just getting a bunch of stuff coming at once here. Yeah, okay. So the idea is that you had this loss, and so you're wanting to make up for that. You're wanting to have a child. Is essentially what it is. You want to have that experience. So that's really what that's about. I'm being told that what you're doing now, you're not going to be doing the rest of your life. I have all respect of what you're doing now. And I know exactly what you're doing. I know that you're running a coffee shop or something. You have been a very successful business person in a past life. I do see that, but there's something else you've come here to do. So whatever that means to you, how you're starting out is not how you're going to finish. That's all out of respect of what you're doing now. It's not disrespect to me. What you're doing is great. What you're doing now is just not how you're going to finish. And we did talk about there is someone coming for you. You are going to be in a relationship there. It's going to happen for you. There's no doubt about that. There's something you need to learn that you can only learn from a deep, abiding relationship. You've come here to learn about love and all of its different qualities. Not just romantic love, but absolutely spiritual love too as well. Okay, you have a spirit guide. It's a Native American, it's a male. And he's telling me that you have others, because he doesn't want you to think that he's the only one, although he'd like to be. I hardly ever get a name for a Native spirit guide, so you just got to call him grandfather if you want to work with this guy. But he knew you in this life, and he was a relative, like a father or a grandfather to you in this life, this particular life he knew you in. So, I have to ask you, are you interested in indigenous cultures or anything like that?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. You want to get into that however you can. It's not easy to do. I'm not saying it's easy. Maybe that's something you and I can explore together. Mentoring is to connect you to that. It's hard for white people to find indigenous cultures that'll teach them. It's just really hard. I have a hard time doing it. I'm part Cherokee. All right, so it's really hard. But so when I say you should get into it, just do the best you can to get into it, because it's not easy to get into it. But you have a connection to Earth. You have a connection to nature, is what I'm being told. I mean,